In this episode of Gear in the Machine, we're going to take a look at the Gnasher damage values. We're going to go in depth into several of the different tunings, starting all the way back at the beta. We have competitive 2.1 up on the screen here, and we're just going to introduce you to some of the damage ranges so we have a frame of reference before we go look at the numbers. Let's go all the way back first. We're going to show me 1600 units. This is about 1600 units. You can sort of see how big the character is. He's sort of a little bit smaller than the reticle here. The bullets are, not all the bullets are going to hit him. We're about 1600 units away. So let's go to, say, 800 units away. So this is about 800 units away, give or take a little bit. You can see the drone fills now most of the reticle and sort of extends above and below it. And now let's get to 400 units away. So he's almost like 3 times the height, 4 times the height of the reticle, and he fills the whole reticle. Now we're gonna go up to, say, 256, which is just on the inside of gib range, and if you pull the trigger, he gibs, right? So now let's take a look at the numbers. What we've got here is a graph of distance to damage, and a person has 600 hit points on them, and that means that a 2-shot down is gonna be 300 damage, right? We're gonna start with Gears 3. What you can see here with the solid yellow line is the Gnasher's damage fall off over distance. So remember we talked about 1600 units? That's the furthest distance roughly that the Gnasher in Gears 3 was going to be able to do damage. It would do this much damage if you hit with every single pellet. You know, the bullets on a Gnasher spread out over distance, so it's unlikely at this point that you're going to be hitting with every bullet, but if you did, this is how much damage you'd be doing. This is the curve from the Gears of War 4 beta that we put out before launch. As you can see, we've really reduced the amount of active damage, as well as brought the range in from 1600 units to a little over between sort of about 1300 units. So in order for a person to get a 2-shot down, they need 300 damage. You can see here that in the beta, you could roughly 2-shot down someone if you hit with all the pellets at roughly 900 units. So we are going to move into core tuning. Okay, so you can see the core tuning is very similar to the beta with a little less damage, a little less range on both ends. And now we're going to show you competitive 1.0, very different Gnasher. So you can see relative to both core, the beta, and the previous Gears of War 3 game, that the competitive Gnasher is a very different beast. Here, it's actually getting a 2-shot down at roughly 400 units, rather than the Gears of War 3 Gnasher, which would have been, you know, up about 1100 units. So now we're going to show the new competitive 2.0 and 2.1. You can see we've taken the competitive Gnasher at roughly a 2-shot down. We've moved out the 3-shot and 4-shot down distances, but we've kept the overall range the same. Now, one of the very important things about how the Gnasher works is this point-blank lethal range. Anything inside for 265 units in Gears 4 or 256 units in Gears 3, as soon as you hit someone with a pellet that would kill them, they gib inside this range. There's also extra damage that's applied to any shots that are hit inside this range. So this means that if you hit with a full spread here, you get a damage boost up to here to kill someone. Outside this range, you're always going to get a 2-shot down or beyond, right? And this characteristic is extremely important to giving that Gnasher feel of gib or not. So as you can see, there's a lot of different characters and a lot of different curves, and we hope that this has helped you guys understand what goes into making the Gnasher as special as it is.